just like uncovering stashed pirate treasure on a deserted island.
Welcome to the Amazing Digital Circus!
Deleted scenes for the Amazing Digital Circus are worth their weight in gold, and we've found a massive stash for you today. These deleted scenes are filled with unused animations, early development footage, and lots more, so strap in because it's going to be a hell of a ride. Unfinished early scenes. It's no secret that bringing an animated series to life takes time, and the Amazing Digital Circus was no different. From getting the storyboard right to picking the perfect animation style, a lot of things went through several changes before arriving at the final product, which is where most of the early deleted clips come from. According to Gooseworx, work on the Amazing Digital Circus started back in mid-2022, and it was a crazy race to the finish line. We know that during early development for the show, a lot of ideas were cut out and abandoned. Pre-production for the Amazing Digital Circus went on for months, with several clips and ideas never making it into the finished work. The first few deleted clips that caught our eyes were early versions of characters with gimmicky animations and scenes without proper lighting. For instance, one deleted clip features a different color scheme for Ragatha's dress and Azubal without her distinctive torso print. It makes sense that the characters were missing some details since it was a largely unfinished clip used to get a feel of things. We are sure several clips like this were made to show their animation progress with the characters and maybe to have a bit of fun. The clip also shows us an unfinished Kaufmo who had been abstracted into a mindless beast. This untextured Kaufmo is smooth with colored dots all over and looks more like a weird alien dog than the menacing glitch monster we saw in the show. Seeing how different the finished product turned out, we're glad the animators took their time to polish out the kinks, or the Amazing Digital Circus might be an unwatchable show about unlikable characters living out their worst nightmare. Earlier we talked about gimmicky animations for the VR characters, but it goes way deeper than that. We actually discovered some funny walking and running animations for our beloved characters that never got used. Pomni's running animation took center stage as the animators had several renderings of her running, with her arms forward as she ran in place. Even though we see Pomni run a few times in the show, the animators didn't get to use all the weird running cycles created for the character, which is a shame for all clown lovers out there. If you thought we only got to see the unfinished run cycles of the stable characters, we are glad to inform you that we also discovered what looked like running animations of two miniature Kaufmos. They are smooth all around with multicolored dots all over, like we saw in an earlier clip. So far, Kaufmo was the only abstracted character we saw in the series, and seeing what looks like more abstracted characters give us hope that we might learn about the other forgotten characters in the cellar. These unseen clips show the characters in several stages of motion, and we can't help but laugh at how hilarious they look. With how the animators set up all the characters to walk side by side, it gives us an idea for a scene where all the trapped humans band together to stage an ambush on Kane. But it's just wishful thinking. Seeing that there is more to come from the Amazing Digital Circus, these motion renders might eventually see the light of day. And who knows, it might be the animations for when the characters get into new dubious shenanigans. The scene where Ragatha and Pomni first come in contact with the abstracted Kaufmo sent shivers down our spine with how frightening the abstracted Kaufmo looked. But we uncovered an unseen clip that showed it could have looked entirely different. From the unfinished clip, Ragatha's movements are exaggerated and cartoony, to the point where she looks out of place. We later learned from the lead animator that her movements were reduced so they don't distract viewers from the dread of meeting an abstracted character. Ragatha's goofy movements remind us of the large amount of facial renders and animations from the early developments of the Amazing Digital Circus. With how expressive Pomni and the other characters were in the first episode, you can tell that the animators used a fair share of the facial gestures made for the characters. But we wonder how many were left out. Ladies and gentlemen, the spectacle must go on, so make your ringmaster proud by hitting that subscribe button. Distorted clips. Since we've covered the pre-production footage, now it's time to go over the creepy pictures and renders that make the Amazing Digital Circus feel more like a straight-up horror show. The character who suffers the most in this category is Jax, the humanoid purple rabbit, who has some of the creepiest renders we've ever seen. That being said, Pomni and Gangle also have a fair share of distorted images, But they aren't as bad as Jax. In one picture, we can see Jax with his mouth stretched open, but that's nothing compared to the way Jax is portrayed with a menacing grin across his face in another image. It doesn't feel like the Jax we saw in the show, and we wonder if it foreshadows his descent into madness. Since Gooseworx announced that the next episode would focus on Jax, the internet has been ablaze with theories of what comes next for the mischievous rabbit. Seeing screenshots of Jax looking manically suggests that the theories of the beloved rabbit going abstract might be true. Unlike Kaufmo, who didn't get enough screen time before going abstract, viewers had the time to watch Jax, so him going unstable will hit close to home for those who have taken a liking to him. We definitely don't want to live in a world where Jax is a mindless abstraction, but we're sure the animators live to torture us, so you might want to brace yourself for the next episode. While Jax takes the crown as the king of cursed images, Pomni comes a close second. We found an unfinished scene where Pomni rushed to aid Ragatha after Kaufmo's attack, and it's more Casper the Friendly Ghost than the Amazing Digital Circus. The short clip has her floating over to Ragatha, and it's as confusing as it gets with several lines over her face and body. We can't even wrap our heads around why she's floating, but we will leave that task to the show's animators. Abandoned intro. The intro theme for the Amazing Digital Circus is goofy as hell for a show with very dark undertones, and you'd be surprised to discover that an alternate intro theme song for the show
Welcome to the Amazing Digital Circus! My name is Kane!
Exists out in the wild. Before you say anything, I'm sure you might be wondering how different the alternate intro theme song might be from the one we got. Try to see if you can spot the difference on your own. All it takes are keen eyes and ears to spot the differences between this intro and the one everyone got to see. First off, the abandoned intro has Kane and Bubbles singing for longer than what we got in the final version. Instead of using Kane and Bubbles' voice, the creators went with a female voice for the whole song. And it's a peculiar choice to make, but they know best. The other aspect of the theme that took us by surprise was the part where several objects were floating in a circle above Pomni's head. For the released version, the objects glitch out, and we hear the same lyrics a few times before it moves on. On the other hand, the abandoned intro just has them sing a different lyric about spinning around each other. Speaking of Pomni, the final version of the opening theme also omits the part where Kane tells her not to go near the exit door. This is clearly foreshadowing the fact that Kane doesn't want her to see his unfinished work in the void. As a first-time viewer watching the Amazing Digital Circus, you may not understand the significance of the fake exit door, but by the end of the first episode, it all makes sense. Seeing the differences in the abandoned version of the theme song for the Amazing Digital Circus, we can't help but wonder if we should expect changes in the opening theme when the next episode drops. If Glitch decides to switch things up in the next episode, we might see a different character hogging the spotlight. We are sure no one would object to Gangly and Jax singing the opening theme song in the next episode. Unfinished demo scene. The last piece of unseen media has to do with the early days of the Amazing Digital Circus, where we get to see early character animations of Ragatha, Jax, and Zooble. They look a little different than what we are used to, but it is understandable because the clips were made several months before the show premiered on YouTube. This early demo also features a wacky clip of Kane and Pomni, showing the fans what to expect from the power-hungry ringmaster before the show dropped on the streaming platform. This is the very first clip Glitch Productions uploaded for the show way back, before we knew everything about the dark comedy that is TADC. From the unrefined texture and the texts accompanying the clip, it is revealed as the very first clip made by the animators to show the movement of the characters. In the clip, we see AI Ringmaster Kane as he introduces the fans to the Amazing Digital Circus. He tries to give us a teaser of the circus, but has trouble switching to the right location. He eventually gets there, and it's here we see a scared Pomni as she is forced to be part of Kane's crazy spectacle. The ringleader quickly pins her to a throwing board, and as he's about to brush up on his knife-throwing skills, the video feed cuts out. Fortunately for poor Pomni, we see that she survived the ordeal, albeit with a few knives lodged in her body, and Kane plays it off like a funny practical joke. Kane's antics in the demo teaser serve as a good way to show viewers what the digital circus was all about. And you have to agree, it was really funny. Do you have what it takes to survive this digital delirium? Prove it by smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel for more spine-tingling wonders. A twisted circus awaits, and your ticket is just a click away.